The Singapore Telephone Numbering Plan, also known as the National Numbering Plan, is regulated by the Numbering Management Department of the Infocomm Development Authority of Singapore, taking over the role from the Telecommunications Authority of Singapore upon its formation in December 1999. Due to the small geographical size of Singapore, there are no area or trunk codes, with the public switched telephone network, radio network and IP telephony all belonging to one numbering area, and thus comes in the same 8-digit numbering format. Numbers are categorized based on the first digit, thus providing 10 possible categories, of which 6 are currently in use and the remaining 4 reserved for future usage. History: until 1985, subscribers' telephone numbers in Singapore were 5 and 6 digits, but in that year, these changed to 7 digits as the introduction of new towns arose and a large number of new numbers were required. Rationalization was based on geographical locale over the 12 years. In 1995, the digit 9 was added to the front of mobile phone and pager numbers, making numbers 8 digits, and on March 1, 2002, the digit 6 was added to the front of existing fixed-line telephone numbers. Telephone exchanges: this is the list of telephone exchanges in Singapore. They also share the telephone exchanges with open net locations, cable TV and 6 regular phone lines. Ang Mo Kio Telephone Exchange, Air Raja Telephone Exchange, August 1977, Bedok Telephone Exchange, February 20, 1973, Bukit Panjang Telephone Exchange, Central Telephone Exchange, July 14, 1980, Changi Telephone Exchange, Fort Canning Telephone Exchange, Geylang Telephone Exchange, Hougang Telephone Exchange, Jurong Telephone Exchange, Jurong East Telephone Exchange, Jurong West Telephone Exchange, Lavender Telephone Exchange, March 13, 1973, Pasir Ris Telephone Exchange, October 14, 1991, Paya Lebar Telephone Exchange, October 8, 1960, Queenstown Telephone Exchange, July 7, 1957, Seletar Telephone Exchange, Tampines Telephone Exchange, Tanjong Katong Telephone Exchange. July 11, 1957, Tanjong Pagar Telephone Exchange, Tuas Telephone Exchange, Woodlands Telephone Exchange, Woodlands East Telephone Exchange. 87,156,658. Former telephone exchanges: Changi, built in October 1958, City, built in July 1959, Clementi, Lim Chu Kang, Nei Soon, Old Central, Sembawang, Tiong Bahru. Numbering plan Number ranges 3xxxxxxxx, Voice over IP services, 6xxxxxxx, Fixed line services inclusive of fixed line voice over IP services, 8zxxxxxx, Mobile phone services, 9xxxxx, Mobile phone services. Special service numbers 800xxxxxxx, toll-free international services, 1800xxxxxx, toll-free line services, 1900xxxxx, premium service. Short codes 0xx, international access code, 13xx, voicemails, 1711 speaking clock, 1777, non-emergency ambulance, 16xx, service providers customer services, 18xx, international calling card access numbers, 993, MOH special ambulance service, 995, Singapore Civil Defence Force emergency ambulance, 999, police, X denotes 0 to 9, Y denotes 0 to 8 only, Z denotes 1 to 9 only. Calls to Malaysia and Indonesian border towns. Until 1995, calls to Malaysia from Singapore were direct, with only the area code and number being required, hence 03 for Kuala Lumpur instead of +63. In 1995, owing to the divergence of the two countries' numbering plans, the subscriber trunk dialing prefix 020 was adopted. For example, in order to call a number in Kuala Lumpur, 020 is dialed first, followed by the area code 3, then the subscriber number. On the other hand, calling Singapore from Malaysia remains direct as was before 1995, requiring only the code 02 instead of +65. Similarly, calls to Batam, Samarinda, Pekanbaru and Tanjung Pinang in Indonesia require only the code 011, followed by the area code and the subscriber's number. Hence, to call a number in Batam from Singapore, a subscriber would dial 011-778-XXXXXX, instead of the international code +62 778. Calls to the rest of Indonesia, including those to mobile phones, require international dialing. Following the liberalization of the telecommunications industry, new carriers are assigned new carrier-specific codes for international and regional trunk call services. The codes 020 and 011 are assigned to the incumbent carrier Singtel. The other two major carriers, M1 and StarHub, do not offer any special dialing arrangements for calling to Malaysia and Indonesia, instead requiring full international dialing, the same as calling other countries. International direct dialing and VoIP services, the generic international call prefix when making an international call is 000, which all telecommunications service providers are required to share. However, the code is not well known as carrier-specific access codes are generally used, such as 001 for Singtel, 002 for M1 and 008 for StarHub. On a mobile phone, a plus sign can be keyed in as a substitute for the prefix. VoIP services, like Zone 1511, use prefixes in the 15XX range. For example, to call a number in London using Zone 1511, a subscriber would dial 1511 4420 XXXXXXXX. HH access codes in the 0XX range indicate a Tier 1 VoIP provider. Access codes like 1XXX are indicative of a Tier 2 VoIP provider. References